thank you for having me here today. Greetings from the members of the Hershey Rotary Club. We have a lot of respect for your club, the growth you've had the past couple of years, and just the energy that you bring to the district and the events. So it's great to be here today. I had a jacket on and the sleeves down, and I got out, and the first person to greet me was Mr. Zubler. And I said, I don't need the jacket, do I? He said, no, I don't need the jacket. So thank you. So I am relaxed up here. This is nice. A lot of times you go to a club and you gotta have the suit and tie on. So this is a very comfortable club. So it's great to be here. So the reason I'm here today is I want to sort of raise awareness of the opportunities that we have for families at the Milton Hershey School. We're right now really trying to raise awareness in rural parts of the state. The urban parts have the social workers and a lot of organizations and stuff that share information about the school. But in the rural parts of the state, we really don't have as much exposure and awareness. So we're really making an effort to try to get out and raise awareness. The reason we want to raise awareness in rural areas, we don't want a student population that's all urban or all rural. We'd like to have a balance. So when our kids leave the school, they're comfortable and they have respect for the likes and dislikes and cultures of the kids from different parts of the state. So once again, we have a need for more rural applications. So I really appreciate you guys letting me come here and share the story and the opportunities we have at the Milton Hershey School. I brought a bag. You can't come from Hershey without a Hershey bar. So if you look in your information bag, you'll find a Hershey bar there. So let me just get started here. So our theme this year was Greater Together, and as you mentioned in the prayer, we really are stronger together when we work as a team and a community. And so I just want to get started here. I'm going to start with just a quick 2 or 3 minute video here, and that'll sort of give you the 30,000 foot overview of the school.
What if there was a place where every kid got a chance to be great? Where everything they do is meant to help us? There is a place, and there's no other place like it. It's my school, Milton Hershey School. Let me start from the beginning. Our founders were Milton Hershey, the famous chocolate maker, and his wife Catherine. They wanted to help children who didn't have much, to create a place that was safe, where nothing would hold kids back. The Hersheys believe learning shouldn't have a price, so we don't pay anything to go to school here. Everything we need is taken care of, even a place to live with other students our age, with caring house parents to watch over us. In our homes, we learn to accept and appreciate one another, because the things that make us different bring us together. Our classrooms, they have no walls. We learn by doing and exploring through programs that give us an early start on college and our careers. We get to grow our talents, play with passion, and we always celebrate our success. You see, we're more than a school. We're a community. We listen, serve, and find our voices. We change lives. I know, because this place changed mine. Milton Hershey once said that if he could provide for 100 kids, it would be worth it. But look at us now, more than a century of memories. 11,000 graduates and counting, and there's still more good to do. Because here, we have the chance to be great. I want to be great. And you? Well, you can be next.
So that gives you sort of a little bit of overview. I know a lot of you have probably been to our campus and had a chance to maybe look around and drive through and learn a little bit about the school. We're very fortunate that we can provide the families that entrust their children to us free food, clothing, dental, security, and a home away from home at no cost. You can't pay to go to the Milton Hershey School, and it costs you nothing for any of the activities, events, or support that you're going to get. And like I said, we're blessed. That was due to the generosity of Milton and Catherine Hershey. In 1909, they signed a deed of trust to establish the school. And 113 years later, we just graduated 218 kids this past Sunday. We're up to over 2,000 students. We're on our way to 2,300. If we hadn't hit the COVID, we would be at 2,300 now. We're sort of in a growth spurt. We sort of put growth on hold a little bit till we got out of this COVID. We're feeling pretty confident. The school's pretty much running back to normal. And so we're hoping that that'll continue, because it was really rough on, I'm sure, your children and neighbors and grandkids as much as it was on our kids. So it was a tough time. We've got a beautiful campus. We've got about 5,000 acres that we use actively for everything from academic buildings to we've got 500 acres of agriculture and environmental grounds that the kids use. Everything from planting to harvesting to selling in the project market. We've got 3 campuses. I'll back up a little bit. So our students are divided into 3 age groups. Elementary is pre-K through 4th grade. We've got about 400 kids at that age group. We've got middle school, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We've got about 750 kids in middle school. And then our senior high is 9th through 12th, and we've got over 1,000 kids in the senior high school. We've got a beautiful campus. We've been blessed. It's been growing for 113 years. I started the school in 2002. I worked for the Hershey Company for 16 years, and I've been at the school now for 20 years. And I've watched it grow from, when I got there were 1,070 students, so I've seen it almost double. And we're helping more and more families and more kids, and like I said, we're blessed with the resources to be able to provide these services to kids. Go here. So we've got a lot of recreation, so not only do we have the academic buildings and the student homes, but we have a lot of recreational facilities on campus as well. Everything from a swimming pool that's open to kids pre-K to 12, as well as staff and their kids. They encourage you to bring your kids so that your kids get to know Milton Hershey kids and maybe expand the world for the Milton Hershey kids. They sort of jokingly call it the chocolate bubble, because everything that they do is right there at the school. Their home, their school, everything that they need. So any exposure we can get the kids to beyond the Milton Hershey School is a plus. So the pool is open to employees and kids as well. Let me see, there we go. So we have our student homes. So we have about 200 student homes. I mentioned the 3 divisions, the pre-K through 4th, and then the 5th through 8th, and then the senior division. We've got about 200 homes. Each of those homes has anywhere from 8 to 12 kids. The elementary division, we've got about 8 kids in a student home. The middle division, about 10, and the senior division, about 12. When you get to 12th grade, though, you don't live in the student home setup. We have something called transitional living. So we take our seniors, they live in what they call transitional living. We move ahead here to the next slide. So that anywhere from 4 to 6 kids in an apartment. They share the apartment. They do have a resident assistant, or we call them transitional living assistant, who sort of helps them manage their time. They also have a lot of real life learning throughout the year, everything from budget to time management to driving to social emotional learning, leadership skills. The kids, once again, so you'll have 4 to 6 in a home. They're given a budget for the food. They have to sit down and come up with what their menu is going to be for the coming week, and then decide how they're going to spend their money and go to Giant or Walmart and get the food for the week. And that may sound like a simple thing to do, but you may have kids from 4 different backgrounds, 6 different backgrounds. You may have a Hispanic child that likes one kind of food, and so for them to come together, it really teaches them sort of that negotiating, living with other people, coming to compromise. And they also have to submit their menu to make sure it's not all potato chips and sodas and candy. No, we don't mind the candy as long as it's Hershey's, but they do have to watch their menu. So we try to make sure they have a balanced diet, they get a chance to learn the budgeting. Something that's sort of unique, they also have virtual bills that come in. So they monitor their water use, electric use, the different utilities. And each person that lives in that apartment has to go online and pay their utility bill for the month. If they don't pay, if one of them doesn't pay their utility bill for the month, guess what happens? they turn off the water for a weekend. They turn off the electric for a weekend. And then you've got kids scrambling in the hallways, charging their phones, going to their friend's house to take a shower, or their friend's apartment to take a shower. So we're just trying to teach them those life skills while they're still with us. If they want to stay up all night and play games, fine, but they have to be at school on time, they have to do their activities after school, they still have to maintain. So it's a chance for them to learn those life skills while there's still a little bit of the safety net of the school there. We have our career pathways. So we have career technical education. We have 12 pathways that our kids can choose. I'll back up a little bit. So in elementary school, we sort of start to talk about careers and what you might want to do the rest of your life, just very, very subtly working it in. In middle school, focus a little bit more. They work careers and stuff into the different activities and science classes and whatever it might be. And then in 8th grade, they get to go down and visit our career technical learning areas. So each of our 12 career technical learning areas have a learning site on the main campus. So if you're going into culinary arts, we've got the two main like professional kitchens, and we've got chefs on duty. If you're going to learn culinary arts, you can get an idea what that's going to be. We have health services where we've got what looks like a health suite and a science lab. We have for law and public safety, we have a courtroom basically, and then a forensic science area built onto that, so you can learn forensic science. So each of these 12 areas have a learning site. The kids go down, they get to visit those. In 9th grade, they have to pick 4 of those 12, and they're going to spend a marking period in each of those 4 areas. And then in 10th grade, they have to pick one. And 10th through 12th grade, they're going to focus on that career tech area. Every single graduate for the past 7 to 8 years has graduated with at least 1, and most 3, and some as many as 10 nationally recognized certificates and license in that career field. So all of our kids are graduating college prep. They have to go through all the classes just like everybody else. But in addition to that, they're focusing on a career technical area for those last three years. We found that is really, even if they don't go into that field, in some cases maybe they realize they don't want to go into that field. If maybe law and public safety, they thought that's what they wanted to go into. But like I said, they're all leaving when they go out either to college, or some go right into the workforce, or some will go to trade and tech schools. That gives them a leg up on the other kids that are going out. So that's a program that we really focused a lot on. We're actually going to be introducing next year welding. We try to have career fields where the kids can get a job when they leave school, whether or not they're, so we've got welding, we've got carpentry and home building, we've got computer science, we've got video, we've got all these different areas, automotive, just a lot of different areas. So we're trying to prep the kids so that if they want to go right out into the work field, they can take those licenses and certificates with them. If they want to go to college, if they were in an automobile, they've got skills on how to work on a car, which I wish I'd gotten that when I was high school. I paid mechanics a lot to work on my car. But so those career fields have been very beneficial, the career pathways. So we also have, we're blessed. We can get all of our kids have to get real life work experience. So whether it's at one of the Hershey and Ken resorts, the Hershey company, any of the Hershey entities, or even local businesses. If you're going into automotive, you're going to get some work experience out at an automotive shop. If you're going into food prep, culinary arts, you've got all the Hershey restaurants. So there's a lot of opportunities. So not only do you follow your career path and get that education, but we want you to leave with some real work experience. And again, you might find out it's not what you want to do, which is almost as important as finding out what you do want to do. Our kids can earn college credits. So while they're on campus, we've got Temple comes in and they've got a 16 credit opportunity for our kids that they can earn when they're senior year. They can earn up to 16 credits. We also have relationships with the local colleges, Hack, Lebanon Valley, Elizabethtown College, where the kids will come and they can take some classes their senior year and graduate with some college credits. The kids have a chance to build up a scholarship up to $95,000 toward their education. I sort of like the way they have this set up. You earn your college scholarship in 9th through 12th grade. So in 9th grade you'll earn 5%, of your college scholarship, 10th grade 15, junior year 30%, senior year 50%, which is great if you're making good choices. So you can earn it and you can lose your scholarship. So if you're a 9th grader making poor decisions, a bit of a knucklehead, you could lose 5% of what's going to be your eventual scholarship. If you're a senior and you're still making poor choices, it can cost you up to $50,000 or 50% of your scholarship. Once you earn it, they're not going to take it away. So if you maybe were good in 9th and 10th grade, but 11th grade is an off year, you don't lose that 20%, but you could lose 30% that junior year. So I like the way they have that set up. They don't just write the kids a check and hand them a check for that. That would go to the school or tech school. If you're not going into a college or a tech school, but you're going out to be a mechanic and you need tools, or you're going into a certain field where you need some type of special equipment or tools or technology, the school will help you with that as well. This is an area that really, it opens up a lot of doors, and it does have we do have a lot of kids that come because if they're from a family of low income, this is a real opportunity for them to get a college education and maybe break that cycle of poverty for their family. We try to find what the kids' passions are. Again, we're trying to introduce them to the thoughts of career and how to prepare for a career and be successful and self-sustaining after they leave the school. So we try to find out what their passions are. As you know from your own kids, some kids are great in science and just can't get enough of it, and math, and other kids want nothing to do with that. They're more artsy, maybe they're more into the arts and those type of activities. So we try to find out what the kids' passions are. We're blessed with the resources to provide them a lot of opportunities, and I think that's one message from the Milton Hershey School. We give opportunities to kids who otherwise wouldn't have opportunities. So we reach out to the low income and working class families and say, hey, here's an opportunity to maybe help your kid get to a level and get out of poverty potentially. We've got 2,000 plus kids. Every one of them have a different story, how they got there. None of them did anything that got them there. It's typically choices or circumstances that address their family, that the school is there to help them, and like I said, get them to provide them some additional opportunities. We've got great agriculture and environmental education. Anybody that goes to the farm show, you've probably seen our kids showing goats or beef cattle or honey or whatever it might be. So we've got about, as mentioned, 500 acres where the kids do everything from the planting to bringing in the vegetables and then selling them in the product market. But with our animals, like I said, we've got goat club and beef cattle, and we have kids that raise horses. Our environmental education, we've got a lot of streams, a trout farm on campus. They make they tap the maple trees and make honey. I mean, they do all of that, or not make honey, they make maple syrup out of the maple trees. So we've got a lot of opportunities for the kids in the agriculture and environmental education. We also have a relationship with Seedway, where they work with our kids and our staff to learn everything from insect-resistant plants, and so they'll plant a field and then they'll monitor that field very closely. The food that they grow and the vegetables that they don't sell in the market are donated to the local food banks. The Palmyra, Caring Cover, the Hershey Food Bank, Hummelstown has a food bank. So we do, and then Central Pennsylvania Food Bank as well. We donate the extra vegetables and fruits. So we also have a good music, art, and theater program. Most of you probably heard the STEM. Like a lot of schools, we refer to everything now as STEAM. We've added the arts in there. The arts are very important. It really helps our kids in many ways find a focus in many ways, or find a way to express themselves. So we've got a lot of music, art, and theater programs for the kids. One thing COVID did that was really impacted our kids a lot. We did not have sports, and we also didn't have the theater and music and arts programs, and that was really tough on the kids. So it was great to see this year, when we went back to normal, the kids in the high school band, the kids put together their play. They got really active again. So it was great to see that back. We've got some great sports. I know we play Elizabethtown in some sports, but our sports teams, we've got great facilities. One thing that is a little bit of a challenge for us, for example, our hockey team doesn't quite do as well because we have ice from November through March, and that's the only time our kids are playing hockey. So they're playing against a lot of teams where the kids are playing 9 and 10 months a year. So those type of sports where you're soccer, where their competition is playing 9 or 10 months a year, our kids are down to 2 or 3 months a year. So we do our best, we focus on sportsmanship and doing their best. But in other sports, we do extremely well. Track and field, basketball, football. So those sports with sort of defined seasons, we do a little better at. We just started this year working, we have teams now in the Hershey Little League, where basically we can host the games on our fields on campus. And it's a great opportunity for our kids, once again, to get to know kids in the community, but also get to play other than just other Milton Hershey kids. So we have been expanding that. We spend a lot of focus on building social and emotional learning and character development. We really want our kids to leave with self-confidence, ready to take on challenges. We want them to have good character. One thing that our kids are probably tired of hearing about when they leave the school is a quote that they hear all the time, is to whom much is given, much is expected. And our alumni are very active. We do surveys and stuff to find out, what our alumni are doing 5 years out, 10 years out. And we found that our alumni are very active in entrepreneurial activities, but also they're very active in their communities. So you'll find a lot of Rotarians and Kiwanis and community servants in many ways. So our kids like to give back. We try to provide them as many opportunities as we can while they're on campus. We've got a program with the Hershey High School, which is, as you know, it's a quarter mile down the road from us, where it's called Hershey Community Youth Alliance, 2 schools, 1 Hershey. And the 2 schools do a lot of community service activities together. We have exchanges where we'll send 40 kids to their high school one day, 10 from each grade. They'll be hosted by the Hershey kids. The next day, those Hershey kids come and they're hosted by the Milton Hershey kid that they hosted the day before. Builds a lot of friendship. We try to do that twice a year. Breaks down a lot of those myths. I think the Milton Hershey kids, before this program started, thought that every kid at Hershey drove a Mercedes and had a gold spoon. On the flip side, the Hershey kids thought all the Milton Hershey kids were probably hoodlums and not the best character. And I think by having this exchange and they get to know each other, see each other, they've really developed a great respect and friendship. And they put on they raise money from the cocoa bean game. All the funds from the cocoa bean game go to this youth alliance. So they bought the shelter boxes through Rotary. They give $1,000 to the Walk for Clean Water. They hold a talent show that they put together. They work with Cocoa Packs. They work with Ronald McDonald House. So they're really active in the community, and that's a program that we think helps develop that character, and once again gets them out beyond the Milton Hershey School campus. We have a network of support, everything from the teachers to staff. It doesn't matter what you do at the Milton Hershey School, you're expected to interact with the kids in a positive way, be a mentor, get involved in their programs. Our president, Pete Gert, went to the school from the time he was 5 years old, went through, worked for the different Hershey companies, came back as a president about 8 years ago. And student engagement is something you're going to hear from him all the time, and it's just expected. Any research and just common sense would tell you, kids that have a mentor or somebody that they go to talk to, somebody that they know cares for them, is going to help that kid be successful. So it's just expected that they have a solid network of staff at the school. Staying connected with their families. The house parents will tell the kids, we love you, we're going to provide all the support we can, but we're not replacing your parents. We're here to work with them, hopefully, to have you be successful. So they do reach out. We encourage the families to stay connected when it's a positive relationship. In many cases, it's grandparents, aunts, uncles, older siblings. Every child there has a parent or a sponsor. And I said, so you'll hear me say parent sponsor. That means it could be a grandparent, aunt, uncle, or another person. but we really try to develop a lot of opportunities for them to come on campus, meet the house parents, meet the teachers, see the activities, meet the coaches. We try to keep involved. We try to have activities for siblings to get together. So in our student homes, boys live with boys, girls live with girls, and typically you're within 2 class grades or 2 grades. So in middle school, we're gonna have 5th and 6th graders together, or 7th and 8th graders. We're not gonna have 5th and 8th graders. We try to keep the range within two years. But we can't always get the siblings together. They might be in a different division. So we have activities to try to keep the siblings so they have a chance to stay connected as well.
Milton Hershey School is an amazing place. It's got amazing staff and amazing kids and amazing opportunities.
And this place is to bring them into adulthood with more than what I can give them.
I'm Sarah Olson. I have 2 kids here at Milton Hershey. We are from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, which is about 5 hours away. So it was a big decision, and it makes it a little more difficult to take your child's life and put it in someone else's hand. But as long as you work to keep your hands in there, you're not giving anything up. You've just got extra help. The house parents are absolutely wonderful. I have been so blessed. I have really learned how to use them as a resource, talking as moms and dads to moms and dads.
I'm Daniel Gilliland, and I have 2 children in this home here at Olympia.
I want the parents to feel that they're a part of the education here at Milton Hershey School. We are not their parents, and we tell them we can never take the place of your parents. That's not the reason that we're here. We're here to partner with your parents and to help.
And so we kind of come in as a surrogate in that situation.
We have we have their best interest in mind. We're a team.
A team.
And, we keep the girls going. And they love it here. They really do.
If you want to send your child here, it is a wonderful opportunity. It's hard, it's scary, but as long as you share and you work together with the school and their staff, you don't feel like you're missing much.
All right, so at the beginning I said that everything is free. Well, yeah, it doesn't cost you financially to have your kid come to Milton Hershey School, but it's a huge emotional move. It's a great sacrifice for parents to make that decision. When you think about people, low-income, working-class families that don't have a lot of resources, in many cases, their children are their greatest asset, and so for them to make that choice to send them to school, we really take that very, very serious because we know it's a huge sacrifice. What are the qualifications to get into the school? So you have to come from a family of lower income. You have to be 4 to 15 years old. You can enter as young as 4. You have to be totally enrolled before your 16th birthday. You have to have the ability to learn, which is defined by the Attorney General's office as an IQ of 80 or above. You have to be free from serious behavioral problems because you're going to be in a classroom and in a student home with 8 to 12 other kids. So you have to be able to not have behavioral problems that are going to disrupt that environment. You have to be able to participate in the program as it exists. So we do have kids with some sight challenges, some mobility challenges, some hearing challenges perhaps, but as long as they can participate in the program as it exists. We don't have expertise, experience, and resources for extreme challenges, but if you can come to the school and participate in the program as it exists, that won't be a barrier for you. So there's an application process, and we've really focused on that. We found out through the years that The application process can take a month or two. It's very challenging, it's very in-depth, and our admissions counselors used to just work with the schools and work with different folks and just raise awareness. And we realize now that we have to focus more time on helping the parents or sponsors get through that application process. There's a lot of information on background checks on behavior, looking into the financial situation. So the application process, we're trying to make it easier. We're also trying to help the parent and sponsors through that application process. We really want the kids to, again, be their greatest self. So with that, I don't know how much time I have left for questions. Do I have some time?